Hey there. So, we're going to do a reading. I'm just taking a moment and I wanted to talk to you about private readings are coming up probably in the next day or two. I'm actively working on getting a website set up, but I'm having issues like imperfectionism issues with it too. Plus I'm having some technical difficulties trying to find a proper way to upload videos, like private readings for you. So while that's working, you can still email me. I will have the prices up and everything later, or probably in the description of this video. And I'm going to be doing things a little differently with the private readings. There's going to be a personalized meditation for you at the end of it to help you get through whatever issue it is and to bring about the best possible scenario for you, or at least what we can think is the best possible one, and then leave it open for the universe. So there's going to be a mini guided meditation in there for you, and obviously there's going to be innate energy healing built into it. And I don't know how to word it, but it's kind of like tarot therapy with me here, isn't it? Like, we do some counseling, we talk about issues, and I usually dig into some. In most personal readings, I get a lot of visions and messages from past lives, future lives, different areas. So a personal reading with me isn't going to be like the way you see it here. It's going to be like an actual session with with me, which I haven't posted before. I haven't shared all of that with you, and I'm having an awkward time doing it now. So I don't like selling myself this way. I don't like advertising these things. Like, to me, it's not a job. It's just what I'm here to do. But what I do is so much in a short span of time that it's a little difficult to explain all of it, or to put human labels on it. And I mean, I'm not the one doing the healing for you. I'm showing you how to do it yourself. And there's counseling, and then there's like energy work and meditations and affirmations you get, and then the messages that will come through for you that you'll remember for a very long time. And it's very different than these. I wanted to talk to you about all this stuff because I've kept that part of me hidden from you. Well, except those of you who had like actual private readings with me, private healing sessions and everything. So all of that's coming up, and I have an Etsy shop that's going to be stocked soon, within the next couple of weeks. And within the next 3 weeks, I should have a proper setup to where we can do Skype calls together. Maybe, if I can figure out how to do that properly with the setup I have now. I'm hoping to get some different gadgets to hold the phone, like a little tripod or something, or an actual webcam. And what else was there? I'm going to start doing a lot more card readings, but in a different way. Because I've been getting a lot of messages from the other side on how to do things differently, and like, I don't know, turn things around a little bit. Not for the better or the worse, but just add a new dimension to things, I guess. I've been watching a lot of readings, and I'm noticing there's a lot of stuff that could be in the in-between spaces. A lot of different methods. And I'm actually going to start a series, and this is the first time I'm talking to you about it, but not a Teach You Tarot series, but a different perspective on like the cards and what they mean. Oh geez, lighting. Hold on, it might get squeaky. Anyway, all that aside, the other video I recorded immediately prior to this probably has uploaded for you already. The one where I was talking about your body and Queen of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Things have been cleared out. I've been saging and doing the energy stuff that I do. So this reading, time-stamped at I guess 5:45, is going to be about the next 24 hours, because I know our attention span can falter and we can forget sometimes what messages were in the readings. And I think in a 24-hour span from the time you're watching this until exactly the next 24 hours, what is in store for you, how to navigate it, and how to properly gain the lessons from it without bending over backwards, to be the most graceful in the next 24 hours, basically. And I'm going to do these every day to the best of my abilities, okay? Sorry, Lily is next to me and she's adjusting. All right, let's start. What do you need to know for the next 24 hours? And remember, yeah, time is fluid and all of that, right? But the energy that you're experiencing, and I'm going to pull a few cards while I'm telling you about this, because some people need to have a better comprehension of what energy actually, how this works. There are moments in time where you're going through life, like through experiences, where you see how this sheet has like little holes in it. No matter which way you go, those holes are still there. So if this is the neural network of God and you're a little light beam flowing through, there are certain experiences that you're going to encounter, certain memories that God had, certain experiences you're about to have that you are unavoidable. But the way you experience them, the vibration you bring to those experiences, will affect all of it. So if you're going to a birthday party and you're miserable, it's going to be a miserable time and you're going to bring everybody down. But if there's a birthday party or a reconciliation or a reunion or something, and you're going there feeling neutral or better, changes everything around to that. Hope that makes sense. So far we have the Six of Swords and the Sun card. The new moon and the sun. So within the next few days, or the energy you're going through now seems to be very sad and sullen, kind of like you're walking away from something, but at the same time you're walking towards something with someone. Because look, oh, can you not see it? Oh, there we go. She's not really leaving him, or he's not really leaving her. They're kind of guiding each other through this gauntlet, through this experience. I don't see it as her walking away or turning her back to him. It's almost like she just needs a little direction, and he's behind her and he's like, go a little to the left, a little to the right, and then you're set. And I apologize for being quiet. I'm seeing this play out like a movie. And it's almost as if you had an argument with somebody and they're helping you see a different side of it, but you're feeling really vulnerable to even admit that there is a different side, like you made a mistake, to you're turning over a new leaf because there's a bunch of leaves over there. So you're attempting to turn over a new leaf, the way they say, and get through your thoughts to a better place, because it's like you're in a paradise, you're in a garden, you're in this space in your life where you feel great about everything, but there's this one problem that makes you feel like a new vulnerable being, and it has to do with a man, a person, or a masculine energy in your life. And it's almost as if you're having to acknowledge that who you were isn't who you are anymore, and who you are now is who you were to who you're gonna be. And who you're gonna be is somebody happier, and you're walking away from the sad version of yourself to go towards the happy version, and you're in that in-between state where you're kind of feeling loss of who you were. But you haven't seen who you're going to be yet, which is a way better version than who you were. Hermit. You know who you were and what you're feeling. That version inside you is always going to be you. You know this, right? You're not going to suddenly wake up someday and have the way you think about things and the way you process things be different for you. Your identity, your consciousness, your awareness, the way you are, is always going to be you. You don't have to stay in a state of pain or suffering or apathy or like it's good enough type of state of being. You'll always be that unicorn on the inside. It's your outside that's changing. And your outside is changing based on how you feel. All these emotions, all this water, all your thoughts, all this earth that thoughts are being grounded into, this world that's yours that you're traveling around, your inner self, it's never going to be less than. It's always going to improve. See here how this unicorn is walking on this earth, but it's like this tiny little chunk and it's just hers. That's you. That's your world. It's never going to shrink. It's never going to fall apart. It's never going to destroy. There's no Armageddon for it. It's you. And you're either going to grow and change into a person into more scenes that you find peace in, or you're going to keep moving forward and creating more terrain of varying sorts, from rocky roads to cliffhangers to icy terrain, over and over and over until you have an entire planet that has an ecosystem. You don't just have to be in one forest all the time, or on one tide of the ocean, or with just one person, giving you that kind of advice, or giving you, or being your entire emotional stability. Like, you're supposed to be that for yourself. This feels really big for the next 24 hours. Like, you're really going through something that you're choosing internally once and for all to never let yourself feel powerless and trapped and betrayed again. King of Coins. This feels like someone who was out to get you. Look, he's a hunter. He's not your regular King of Coins with a castle and, the home and all of the responsibility. Like, this guy is responsible. He is dedicated. He's stable. He's mature. He's able to, provide for himself and those around him. But he does it by hunting. He doesn't do it by growth and expansion. He does it by survival, by taking what he needs and sharing that. So he's not a bad guy, but he's not a good guy either. He's a force of nature. And it feels like this person, this King of Coins in your life, made you feel like you were hunted, that you had to hide and you had to protect yourself. And you were in that state for so long that this other person's shown up in your life telling you that there's a better way, and you just feel so wounded and afraid that people could even not see you for who you are, and then they could hurt you. So it's like you're basically forming the sense of armor around yourself, or the need for armor. But there is no need for it, because immediately the next card is the Sun. And then after you see all that happiness, you go within and you realize that the pain caused by that person that you thought was hunting you was actually someone that saw your worth and decided to not hurt you. So they could have left, because they knew that if they stayed with you, they would have hurt you. You're realizing something really big in the next 24 hours. Like soul-changing, vibrational upliftment kind of thing. I just saw a clothespin on a clothes rack, like a laundry rack or a laundry wire where you hang your clothes in the backyard. One of those pins being removed and the piece of clothing falling off. And what's clothing? Like things you wear to express yourself, things you wear to stay warm and comfortable. So an aspect of yourself that you were using to stay comfortable and maybe hide something, like, you know, people wear things to hide tattoos, or a birthmark or something, or they cover up a hickey, I don't know. You're done covering that part of yourself up. This King of Coins is really just staring at me all crazy. Like he's watching this woman here who's leaving in the Six of Swords with this person who's been really always watching her back. But she hasn't given to him enough because she feels hurt by this King of Coins. Or it could be herself, like she's just been in sadness for so long, like the leaves have been falling for such a long time and she's still trying to get through the same issue. And all these unicorns, all four of them are looking here towards her. She's walking towards them with someone by her side. And this King of Coins is looking like, yeah, what I'm seeing is somebody in an audience, someone on stage singing, and then someone sitting in the audience looking at the person on stage. But the person on stage was this person's previous lover. And this person is looking at the person on stage in a very happy, proud kind of way, like that was the love of my life at some point. Like, look at them now, they're doing so great, blah, blah, blah. Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Someone's definitely got their eye on you. Okay. So, there's probably going to be tears involved, just FYI. But it's not tears of being victimized or martyr feeling or anything. It's tears of your happily ever after. Look at this. I told you things were getting better. 10 of Cups. And again, the Knight of Swords. Oh, I apologize about the lighting. This could also be somebody about to get married, actually. I'm picking up on a lot of different like spheres of energy, and each sphere is like a bubble that's playing a different movie on it. And in this other one, I just saw that there's someone getting married. They're leaving behind their single life, and in the next 2 days, they're about to get or have a marriage, or they just experienced a marriage. The King of Coins and the Ten of Cups, somebody who knows exactly how to do and what to do and is responsible and down to earth, will, with a pentacle to give you an opportunity, a date, a gift, a something physical like a marriage certificate or a check being given to you, or you're giving a check to someone. And it's the happily ever after. Like, look at this unicorn here in the reflection. It's the reflected version of this unicorn, the Hermit. So after some time of self-reflection, you see that everything really is okay, and that everything that happened to you in your past was designed to get you to be the person that feels so deeply now, so that you can appreciate this Ten of Cups being brought to you by this King of Coins, who's probably had your back from the beginning and you've never even noticed, because he was always too good at being your responsible friend, your best friend, your, the neighbor you didn't know about, the person at work you never paid attention to, someone who's always had your back. And you have started to see this person differently, and it's progressing towards something really positive and beautiful. The other group is that they're leaving behind somebody that caused them a lot of pain, and that person wants them to stay, but this person is leaving them behind and saying, no, I've had enough of this betrayal. Like, what's the next sword going to be? Flat out, you just cheated on me in front of me. Because then there's like 5 swords, and then the 6th sword is leaving. 5 betrayal on one side, the 6th one clarity, moving away from the betrayal. The next sword that shows up is going back to the betrayal and the treachery and seeing it again from a different point of view. You can do that and gain a different point of view. You can walk towards a different, completely different experience. Or you can go inside yourself and see how you betrayed yourself, which was reflected in how the other person betrayed you. What you did to yourself had to be played out at you by someone closest to you who loves you deeply enough to be able to hurt you that way. Like, they love you in the spirit realm so much that they incarnate here in the physical realm to be that person that hurts you, because they'd rather be the one to hurt you than anybody else. This is all of this, regardless of which group it's for, someone is accepting happiness in their life finally, and it's uplifting their vibration to a point where even if they get betrayed or hurt in the future, they're strong and steady within their own being to know that it was reflected back at them through something they thought, did, or intended internally. So this person plays it out so that they can fill another cup of accomplishments, get more pinnacles and pinnacles in life, and moving forward, and creating more of these little wrinkles in time, and uplifting the vibration of each of those little wrinkles in time. Kind of like going into a carnival or a circus and putting beautiful lights in each corner, and then at nighttime it's just the carnival lights and there's a glowy ambiance everywhere around it. You're lighting up the darkness with one cup each time. So each moment of pain, each sword, you're taking that sword and putting it in, turning it into a cup. You're not letting what happened be something that navigates how you move through life. You're allowing what happened to help you flow freely through life. You're trusting that no matter what goes on, the person you are on the inside is always going to find their way back to stability and your happily ever after, which is really yourself. because both the Hermit is showing a unicorn in the inner world, and the Happily Ever After card is showing the unicorn in the emotional world, which means your innocence and your purity of who you know yourself to be, despite the pain, is still who you are. So if you take that pain away, you have the Sun, the Hermit, the King of Coins, and the Ten of Cups. A happy inner world and a happy outer world, reflected both ways. You can have a really great day, but it's not going to be easy. You have to call yourself out on allowing yourself to feel suffering for an extended period of time just so you can be comforted. That you have to acknowledge in yourself. And I know it's not an easy thing, but sometimes we make ourselves suffer for way too long just so people can give us compassion, because we lack it for ourselves. These unicorns are looking at this woman with so much kindness. Two of them are looking over in these two, and this one's looking in the inner world at the Hermit. And the way it feels is that you have suffered enough. From every way you look at it, past, present, and future, you have transmuted so much ego and so much narcissism and nastiness in you into this peaceful, serene, kind being. A whole bunch of cards fell out, and I didn't want to take them because they fell all over the place. But it's the Ten of Coins, Justice, the Page of Coins, and the Eight of Wands. You know what? Let's just take them. Put them right here on the side. So you have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Coins, and you have Justice. You have an apology coming towards you, or you're giving an apology to someone. You're starting something new. You're studying something different. Guys, seriously, this is a marriage. This is a marriage. Leaving behind a single life, going to your happily ever after, making peace with your past, making peace with whatever comes in the future, because you have your person next to you. The Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. A multi-generational foundation, because it comes with the King of Coins. And then Justice, like the scales are balanced. You even have your castle in the background, and it's the same person who helped this one that brought justice into your life. This could be the same person that betrayed you, or you walked away from, or that's helping you walk away from betrayal. But remember, the person that betrayed you first is you, which was shown here in the Hermit card and the Ten of Cups. You're the one that betrayed you first. They didn't hurt you first. You hurt yourself first. And that's the biggest thing to accept. That the other person was just playing out a role for you. And if you can accept that, it's immediate forgiveness, which is another, to me, Page of Coins attribute. A simple new start in the physical 3 dimensions. Somebody figured out that they screwed up, and they're coming forward with an offer and saying, hey, I know a better way. And then boom, you move. Your inner self gets a new fire going. You start going towards what you want. The unicorn is now, instead of being in the inner world here, or a memory of this future, experience you're going to have with your husband or wife, like 10 years from now, where you're sitting at the beach and you're remembering 10 years ago, which is now, this reading you read, and somebody told you we're going to have your happily ever after. And this is the journey to it. Within the next 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, to 8 years, your entire life is going to be so different in such a beautiful, beautiful way. You will feel that there is a sense of justice in the world, and that the pain you felt actually manifested a beautiful, beautiful life for yourself. Because you will never, ever, 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 ever again, ever again, be as hurt as you were. Because you finally get it. You get what self-love means. You get what love of others means. And you immediately forgive, because anything that happens in your external world is a result of your internal world, which means everyone is immediately off the hook and forgiven. Justice. Constant state of justice. Justice with the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Coins and the Sun. Perpetual state of justice, prosperity, abundance, love, well-being, good health, great wealth, family, friends, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, making peace with those who hurt you, being friends with the people that betrayed you, your partner, your husband, your wife, being your best friend and your soulmate, somebody who sees who you were, who you are, and who you're going to be, and is supporting you actively in that. It's beautiful. And you're both humble and kind. You have that potential in you. The bottom of the deck is the Star, the Sun, and the Star. The outer world, the inner world, everything you've ever wanted, the magic world, family, emotional, material world. You have it all. You have all the elements here. You have all of the zodiac signs here. You have all of your tribe, your guides, your spirit animals. They're all here. I mean, literally, they're all here. There's all sorts of animals. There's all sorts of spirit things and inner worlds, and even the nature. Your connection with nature is going to be very deep in the next 10 years, especially in the next 8 days. And seriously, this is probably not going to be just for the next 24 hours, but what's going to happen in the next 24 hours will trigger this Six of Swords. And from the Six of Swords, you have two ways you can go. You can continue to stay victimized, or you can instantly forgive everyone and everything by realizing you did it to yourself. Accept that. Accept it, allow it, and let it go. You did it all to yourself. At some point in your life, there was a thought you had, or a song you listened to, a boom, Ace of Swords. I told you. You did it to yourself. You cut your own head. You did that. No one did it to you. No one broke your heart. No one cheated on you. You thought they would, so they got the thought impulse to do it. It's that simple. And now that you know that your thoughts and your emotions create how everybody treats you, you get your happily ever after. But if you move forward thinking that other people have the power to hurt you, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. And I don't mean this in a metaphoric way or in any way. You are the only person that has the power to hurt you. If you've read the book, you know this is true. If you've lived your life, you know this is true. If you know anything about the law of attraction, or thoughts, or subliminal messages, or subliminal imagery, or telepathy, if you know anything about the astral plane, if you know anything about energy, then you know without a shadow of a doubt, the only person that hurts you is you. Therefore, everything's forgiven, everyone is forgiven, and you learn, you grow, all is well, and you move forward with your mind in control of you. Like you are in control of your mind instead of your mind being in control of you. Because you're aware that the thoughts that come into your mind, you can choose to make them real with emotions, or you can let them go with neutrality. What's it going to be? Next time you get a thought that some person is cheating on you, or that they're a narcissist, or that they hurt you, are you going to respond emotionally? Are you going to have a conversation with your thoughts and say, bitch talk your ex in your own mind? Or are you going to see that every single person you've ever been with could have been the one, but there were a few that were actually the one, and then there's one that's actually the one, and it's been you that's been messing it up with your thoughts. If this is about a past relationship, then that relationship happened almost 8 years ago. 8 wands, 8-year-old trees, like 8 one-year-old trees over there. That unicorn left them. She went on this massive journey, became this whole other person. 6 years through, 6 massive experiences that happened. That caused isolation, separation, issues, problems, blah, blah, blah. And then within the last rotation of the sun, possibly 3 rotations of the sun, so the last 3 years, full rotations, you learned that you were the only one hurting yourself. Notice the mist here. It's the only card with mist. We got the sun, we got the moon, we got the stars, we got justice and everything else, and there's the mist. And a mist is a state of not seeing clearly, which is probably in the most recent time frame. I would say the last 6 weeks. You had a massive experience where your heart was really hurt. And from this experience, you realized, you saw this glimmer of light in it. And it's like almost as if the experience you were going through was identical to a song you heard a while ago, and then you realized that you had an emotional response to that song, which caused you to bring it into your experience. So you ruined a really great relationship with yourself or with someone else because of things you were listening to and thinking about. And listening to sad breakup songs when you're in a happy relationship. Listening to your negative thoughts tell you, what if this person's doing this or that? And then they did, and they're like, see, I knew it. But you didn't know it, you created it. The bottom of the deck is the Fool. You've been juggling way too much, and you're about to fall off a cliff if you don't watch where you're going. Don't be a fool. Don't pretend to be an idiot and not know what you're doing. When you know what you're doing, you know what your thoughts are doing, you know that you're creating your reality and you're in co-creation with the originator. You're in God's mind creating a different outcome for what happened, your own way. You're still working with, God, because you're still within the boundary of the boundless. That's a mouthful. So make peace with yourself. You're not an angel, and you're not the devil. You're somewhere in between. Let the angels be angels, you be you. Let God be God. You're busy being you. They're all busy being them. You be you. Without titles, without anything, just you as a being. In infiniteness. Stop hurting yourself. Just stop it. Stop with the negative thoughts. Stop with the negative emotions. Just stop it. There's a reason why so much of history and mythology talks about monsters and sea sirens and curses and spells and all of that. If your sorrow, if your grief, if your blame, if your hatred was a monster, how much would you be talking to it every day? If the excuses you make up for what your ex did to you were goblins in your apartment, how much do you talk to each one? Now, if every good thing that ever happened to you was a fairy, a unicorn, a phoenix, a dragon, a pixie, a leprechaun, and different magical, beautiful creatures, every experience a different being, how much do you spend remembering and feeding those entities and thought forms? I had a really amazing relationship with someone that was fantastic, and I spent so much of my time thinking the worst of him. I was really hurt, and I projected all of that hurt outwards, and after a while I realized so many terrible things that I had done to myself that he was playing out towards me. So I've experienced this, which is why I am able to tell you with such fervor to not do it. Your thoughts are leading this entire reading. Whatever you're thinking will either bring you to the best life you've ever lived, or it will destroy you. The only thing that stops you is how you feel, with the Sun card being the next card. The dividing part is the Ten of Cups. Do you want to forgive this person on this side and yourself for what happened so that you can move forward happily? Or do you want to keep leaving a trail of broken hearts and rubble behind you while you attempt to find somebody to help you pick up what's left of you? You've changed, you've grown, you've evolved, you have regret. Yes, we all do. But this energy opening up to you in the next 24 hours, holy jeez, man. Like, whatever it is you need to let go of, let it go, because you have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Coins, the Sun, the Ace of Swords, and Justice, with the best husband in the deck. And it's not people you're supposed to be letting go of, it's the way you feel about people. Can you just feel neutral about somebody you hate? Can you feel pleasant about somebody you're obsessively in love with? Can you just bring it back together? Instead of idolizing someone and demonizing another person, can you just look at them for them? Not for who you want them to be. Look at them as children, as God in human form experiencing life. And when that God comes into your sphere, they do what you want them to do based on your thoughts, not your command, your thoughts, your creative expression. If you're walking next to somebody and you think they're cute and attractive, they usually look at you, don't they? If you don't like somebody, they usually don't really like being around you either. And then you're like, why don't they like me? Because you don't like them. Why don't you like them? Turn it around on yourself like a mirror. Whatever you think of somebody else, what if it's you that did it first and you're just being a brat and pretending you didn't do it first so that you don't feel the weight and responsibility of your horrible behavior? And I am not sorry if this is offending anybody. This is really important. You could be walking away from the best thing in your entire life, all because you have hate for somebody else in your life. That hate for that other person is messing with what you have. And the rebound you've been dating, which really, it feels like a rebound because it's somebody that means nothing to you. You don't laugh the same way with them. You don't cry the same way. You don't get angry the same way. It's different. It's less than. It's like you're pretending to be the Page of Coins when you're the King or Queen of Coins just because you want something safe and comfortable. When what you really want is this amazing fairy tale, but you're too afraid to allow yourself to have the fairy tale because you've been hurt. But you're really just afraid of yourself thinking the same thoughts again. So you've been playing mind games with yourself to keep yourself from thinking thoughts and keeping yourself in a comfort zone so that you don't go into the inner world where you see the pain that you could have had the best relationship of your life with yourself and somebody you walked away from. And it's destroying you. He's holding that pentacle towards his belly, his area of shame and self-power and self-worth. She's holding it by her face, the area of communication, seeing clearly and expressing the heart. They're just kind of blocking it out from each other and just diverting what they want to say or do. And this unicorn here with the Ace of Swords is looking directly up at this other unicorn human being, mortal woman, immortal woman, whatever, this you, this source star being you. And it's like she keeps wanting her to make the right decision, which is don't walk away from the person you feel is too good for you or was too bad to you. Because who you're really mad at is yourself. So go within, deal with those emotions. See how there's like different leaves and stars and plants over here. Each of them mean a different thing. Each aspect of what you've been through has shaped who you are and what you think like. Only you know which relationship this is that I'm talking about. Only you know. Because there seems to be two different people here. One that you're comfortable with, one that you really love but you left, or that he or she left you. And it's always at the back of your mind. Like what could have been, what should have been, oh, it would have been great. And this other person is just someone you're comfortable with. You haven't allowed yourself to grow and expand with them because you've been navigating yourself in a very narrow, expressive self way. You've been expressing yourself in a very limited spectrum because of what happened. So the relationship with the person you've known recently is already skewed and messed up because they don't know who you really are. They haven't seen your darkness. And they probably never will. So the love they have for you will be based on not accepting the complete version of you. They're just accepting the page when you're the king who hunts. And you're pretending to be the page who just learned how to read. They want the goddess in you and the god in you. But you've kept that version of you hidden because you're afraid of the fiery fucking glory that you can be when you're angry and when you're happy. Your thoughts create the script of the actors that enter the stage of your life. So if you're mad at anybody, it's at yourself. I know. I don't want to get into what happened with me. But what I'm telling you comes from a place of being that person who walked away and accepted that it was my fault. Even whatever they did, they have their own responsibility. But the situations I experienced them because I was afraid of experiencing them. I was afraid of losing everything. And I lost everything. Right down to my gender. So I know what I'm talking about here. And when I tell you it's you that did it to yourself, it's because I know that it was me that did it to myself. The other people just helped play a role and they didn't want to play it anyway. So I became my own villain and their villain. Because through them I hurt myself. So I made them unwilling participants in that way. And I'm telling you, you don't have to do this to yourself. In the next 24 hours, you have the choice. You always have the choice, but it's going to be brought up to you again like a revolving door. One more card and then we're going to be done here. Obviously. And the Knight of Swords again at the bottom of the deck. What happened to you? The cards are the Devil and the Five of Swords. Obviously, right? See, right here. The woman trapped under her own fears. Under this castle of the Justice card. See that? Right there. And it's her. You. Trapped under the fear of the happiest relationship you could ever have. And this other person coming into your life, taking the pain away from you, leaving you with a decision to make. Do you choose to move forward with this person? Or do you choose to walk away? And that person isn't someone else, it's you. Your male and female side, your peace, your moon, and your sun. The only person that betrayed you was you. This person didn't do the betraying. This person came to take the betrayal away so that you can have the happily ever after. So if this person's a rebound you've dated after a really long marriage, that person isn't there for you to be married to them. He belongs to someone else. The person you're intended to be with for yourself, the person that makes you the happiest, is the person you're afraid to be with. Because if you were with them, that means having everything you've ever wanted. Everything. That castle belongs to him and his father, or his ancestry. That castle that belongs to you, that you're afraid to claim because of this red fire and death and transformation of self. Your root chakra, your survival fears. And you're using that as an excuse to walk away from the best thing in your life. And you've used 3 years as distance and pain and excuses to cause a divergence between you and this person so that eventually you can say, oh, it's over anyway. Like letting it die slowly. Well, what you should be doing is picking all those swords up, using them as a path, walking towards that path with the love of your life. Remembering the past, seeing the future, and being content in the now. Wouldn't it be super convenient for negative thought forms that the world has thought for a very long time and has powered up into their own versions of entities? Wouldn't it be convenient for all of those entities to utilize you as their weapon to hurt you? So that the only person you have to blame is yourself, so that when you have that moment of acceptance and grief, the only person you're hurting again is yourself. And then it's a spiral of self-hurting and self-hatred. All because the act of letting go of self-pity feels like no one's ever going to know how much you've been hurt and how afraid you were. It's not for them. It's for you. is for you to know how much pain you've been through, so that you can always hold yourself to a higher standard of life. Remember, nobody gets to the top of that mountain to give that advice if they haven't been hurt all the way up there. I wish you the best, because these next 24 hours can really change the way your life is going to go. And there is nothing to fear. And the advice is so simple. Accept that you create your reality. Your thoughts, the things you've listened to, the things you're watching, become manifest in your life. Accept that. That's fact. So what people are doing to you and around you is because of everything you've been thinking, feeling, and doing previously. And if you would just spend 3 days, because this guy is stealing 3 swords, if you would spend 3 days controlling those thoughts and keeping them away from the love that you want, that you feel like you should have had. Maybe this is with an ex that you wanted to be with, but bad stuff happened and you walked away and you're like, can't do it with that ex no more, bye-bye. Well, take the pain away. Can that relationship be better than it was, knowing now that those swords have already been used? That fight has already been fought. Those battles have already been overcome. What good can come out of it? Look at how they're in the light. Without that treachery, can that relationship still survive? Or is that relationship you're in keeping you comfortable and safe and away from the truth of what you did and what happened to you? Is it just an illusion? Like a glimmer, the corner of your eye? You have to figure that out for yourself. But what I'm getting here is that there's a relationship that someone's in that's just comfortable and a distraction from the pain that they were in 2 to 3 years ago. 2 swords in the hand of the past, the left hand. 1 sword in the hand of the future. So 2 to 3 years of communication that's been on and off. Bad thoughts, bad vibes between people. All while both people have been thinking about the best happily ever after they could have had. If you take those swords away, what do you have? A beautiful marriage, a union, and someone watching over you. You got this. You can do this. I know it's not easy to accept responsibility, especially for your own thoughts and your own experiences, but doing so will change a lot for you. The winding road of your life will lead to a beautiful, beautiful field. Winding road, beautiful field, mountains and stars and a beautiful clear sky. The only clouding is around the unicorn, what you're not allowing yourself to see. I love you. Forgive yourself and forgive those who hurt you, and then decide what to do. Don't allow anything addictive or sexual Don't allow anger, rage, addictions, sexual things to get in the way of what you really want. If someone you want isn't physically attractive to you, but you really love them, get over it. Deal with it. Love is more important. If someone gained weight and you're like, oh, I don't like that person because they gained weight, or if you gain weight, Stop being mean to yourself. Like, don't let those negative thoughts happen. Whatever you are is what you are. And if you loved your child in that way, then love yourself in that way. If you can love your husband in that way, then love yourself in that way. The way to defeat that Red Bull is to love something more than you thought you could, despite the fear, despite the panic, despite the anger. Do you love them enough to protect them from your own thoughts? Do you love yourself enough to protect yourself from your own thoughts? If that Red Bull wasn't there, this man or woman has everything. Everything. Happily ever after, kingdom, castle, oceans, tide, unicorns, forests, everything. But that Red Bull keeps her from it. And that Red Bull is yourself and what you're afraid of you're capable of. I don't know how many times this Knight of Swords has been at the bottom of the deck. One more card and then we're going to go. The Chariot and the Six of Cups. I mean, come on. This is exactly what I've been saying. Somebody is coming back into your life and they've faced their demons. They have faced their dragons. They have acknowledged their own mistakes. They know what they want and they want you. But they have changed physically, they have changed emotionally, they have grown, and they feel that you won't accept them if they come back, or that they're not worthy of you anymore, or that you feel this way about them. But if you would just embrace each other, just one hug, just one, your eyes looking at each other, like these two aren't even looking at each other. They know they are soulmates. They know. There, nothing even needs to be said. Like, look at how she's holding the unicorn's mouth. She's like, no, don't even say it. I love you, and that's it. It doesn't even need to be said. I'm just glad you're here. Because you've both been through a lot. And that guy, this is the same one in the Justice card, and in the Ten of Coins, and the one you thought you left behind. From like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe somebody that you spent 6 years with, and then like by the 7th year you split. Because the 7th sword would be in his pocket on that side, on the hilt. And then he's using that 7th sword instead of causing treachery. Justice is coming out and saying, hey, like, look at the eyes on this Justice card. Can we just look at this for a minute? That's the look of someone that loves you so much that they're willing to do anything for you. And all they're waiting for is, like, not even for you to say anything, just take one step forward towards them. In the words of Abraham Hicks, there is deep love for you here. Don't sabotage it by allowing negative emotions to destroy you. If those negative emotions were goblins and monsters and sea serpents, you wouldn't even go near them. But because you can't see them, you think those negative self-hating emotions and blame of other people is okay. But you don't realize that it's you that becomes that monster when you think negatively of other people. I've been through so much, and I refuse to ever, ever, ever allow the memory and information of another being to be tarnished by negative emotions. I'd rather remember them beautiful and in the sunlight and glowing and ethereal. them people who hurt me and controlled me and did this and that, and look at how whiny I am, look at how much I've been hurt, wah, wah, wah. No. Take those swords. Go. I'm busy with my happily ever after. "24 hours. You have 24 hours to freaking get over being coddled. Because I'm going to put it as bluntly as I can. The only reason people hold on to pain is so that somebody else can say, "Oh, are you okay? Is that what happened? Tell me all about it. Here, sit down. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Let's solve it." You don't have to do any of that. You're just a poor baby that's been hurt. Aw, poor you. What did he do to you? What did she do to you? Did you get karate chopped? Did you get betrayed? Were you cheated on? Did he steal your children and your home and left you with nothing? That's cool. Why are you still torturing yourself with that when you could be okay and probably have a great friendship with that person, and you can just move forward and laugh at it, because it's fucking ridiculous how much people can hurt each other here. It's hilarious the amount of cruelty that's possible. And you want to sit there and cry about what happened to you? Nope. I'm not doing it. You don't get to do it. There's too much cruelty in the world to sit there and talk about it and cry over it. I'd rather bake you a cake and then we can go sit by the lake and have a cup of coffee in the silent, beautiful, peaceful moment, instead of spend 5 minutes muttering the vileness of what people did, whether it was through you or at you, both of which are because of you. You gave people the weapons to hurt you. So stop blaming them. That's real self-love. To really, really, really take those weapons back and destroy them. And instead of creating weapons with your thoughts or excuses or wounds, start creating trees and flowers and plants and experiences. Collect experiences. Everything you've been through has made you who you are. Complaining about any of it means you're ungrateful for your current state of being. I'm gonna go. Holy jeez, I really hope tomorrow's reading is going to be a lot easier to get through, because this was heavy. Like, I just went through years, years of trauma again to be able to describe this to you. Holy shit. And it's not even my own. Like, I just experienced so many different points of view of oh. Look, no matter how much you attempt to explain this to somebody, no one's going to get it as clearly as you know it, and as clearly as I felt it. So if you wanted somebody to know what you went through, congratulations, you just got someone that knows exactly what you went through. Maybe not from your point of view of your hands and eyes, but I just read the energy of all of it. What you felt, I just felt. I don't know the details, but I know what you felt. Yay, being an empath and a card reader. Freaking Pisces and Scorpio and Cancer. What were you thinking? I'm gonna go. I need a bath. I'm gonna say it again. I love you. Please watch this reading again over. Please click on specific parts of the video. You don't need to know which ones. Click on them and listen to the message again. There is so much in this video for you, so much channeled information from source, from your guides, and from my own experience and how I perceive your energy from my point of view, and then from source's point of view, and then from all your own points of view that you're avoiding looking at because I was in your energy field. And thank you for inviting me there, and you can have it back now. It's yours. Please take care of yourself. You are like torturing yourself so much over something that both of you did to each other. And you're taking the responsibility of it, and you're thinking that it's all yours to carry when it's not. Just forgive yourself. And it's easy. You want to know how? A song probably made you manifest that experience. A fucking song made you probably experience the worst pain in your life. You were probably listening to Adele. I mean, really, you probably listen to a lot of terrible music that has a lot of terrible words, and you feel your way through those songs or those movies, and then it happens in your life, and you're like, man, that's some epic shit that happened. Like, yeah, you watched it in the movie, you heard it in the song. Your thoughts create reality. It's called brainwashing. It's called mind control, self-sabotage, false beliefs. You're gonna be okay. Just breathe it out and let the blame go. If you want to blame anybody, blame the originator. I mean, really, that's the only thing you're blaming underneath it all. You're blaming God. You're not blaming your ex or anybody else. At the root of it, you're blaming God. Why did you let this happen? If you love me so much, why did you let me get so hurt? And the answer is easy. Because people are going to hurt themselves a lot. And if someone as kind and compassionate as you can heal from this, so can they. Because you can teach them how. But first, you have to teach yourself how. And for that, I guess I'm here to tell you, it's easy. You were sabotaged by yourself on a grand scale. Let it go. Just let it be. And don't hold on to the pain anymore. If you ever need somebody to talk to, we can do a personal session, okay? Just message me. I will give you the info, and we'll go from there. I'm here. I mean, I don't have all of my ducks in a row, but at least I know that I'm manifesting those ducks. And the gun that shoots them in the carnival game. That's like, you know, pew, pew, you shoot the duck and you get the stuffed bear. It's not a real duck. Anyway, okay. I love you. And there's somebody out there that knows how much you've been in hurt and in pain. And I also know how much you love the person you were with. And how much you care about the person you're with now, but it's not the same. I know. I'm sorry you felt that. Thank you for sharing. And if you need me, I'm here. I'm gonna go for real. Because I just want to give you the biggest hug in the world. But I can't until you forgive yourself. Because I will not be an accomplice to you hurting